Hello, everyone, and welcome to Burn the Ship. I want to welcome back one of our special guests, Miss Stephanie Diamond. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great,
Good,
thanks.
good. Thank you so much. She is with Diamond Chick Consulting, and she's been on the podcast with us before, but we're doing a continuation today. And today we want to talk about her Diamond Verse. Talk about a few aspects of what you got going on,
Yep.
and just share a little bit more of those skills that you have been acquiring and nurturing over time. And I think it's going to be dealing with leadership and service, but we don't want to take your shine. We want you to talk about it. So tell us a little bit about the Diamond Verse and what that means.
So the Diamond Verse essentially is made up of three different things. I've got Diamond Chick Consulting, which is my insurance company or agency. Then I have BNI, which is an organization I've been in for 5 years, but I've taken on a leadership role as a director. So it's kind of taken a different road, if you will. And then I'm also a volunteer with Mostly Mutts.
Okay.
So all three of those all kind of work together in a strange, wonderful way that allows me to wake up every morning with a smile on my face. So if you want, I can go ahead and just dive right in. But you know me, I can talk and talk.
Yeah, no worries. On part of what we always try to do is talk about having a good work-life balance,
Right.
and that's going to lean towards our conversation today. As we talk about those three different things that you have going on, I want you to kind of relate them to either the leadership or the service.
Okay.
And to get started, I want to talk about BNI and how you're taking on a new role there. Tell us a little bit of how that skill of leadership is coming into play.
So that's really where I think that's the core, is that new role that I've taken through BNI. So as an area director for the secretary and treasurer roles, that's given me the opportunity to meet pretty much with all chapters in Georgia, and with their leadership team to help support them, help them get the most out of their role. There's so many reasons we take on leadership. It's not just to be in charge and to tell people what to do. Some of us need that accountability and need to be uncomfortable in order to grow. We're not going to grow unless we are made to grow. So I am in a constant search for improving, and I think that this just kind of fell into my lap because of that. But what that's done is it's taken leadership, which has created confidence, which I take to Diamond Chick, and then it's also implements that giver's gain. So that volunteer service mentality is how that kind of feeds into Mostly Mutts, and it really does create. I'm not sure work-life balance is the right way to say it, because there's a lot of work, because I consider pretty much all of that work, but it's also it's my life, and I'm loving it because it's giving me purpose.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, with another thing that we talked about was the service part. Now,
Right.
I know it's leadership that you're gaining from there. Tell us a little bit about the service aspect inside of BNI.
The service aspect?
Yes.
Well, really just being able to, I don't know, maybe help someone through a tough time. I have been through, I made it through the wilderness. I'll quote a little Madonna. I learned by example. I learned by doing things, failing and trying again and getting stronger and stronger. And sometimes not everybody needs to go through all that. So if I can give any kind of support to help someone grow their business, there's a lot of the core values of BNI, honestly, is what is just it just makes sense. And so there's a lot of stuff that is just it's putting into practice all the good things that we're supposed to be doing. So I'm rambling on, but there was to the point of the service. I don't get paid. I mean, I am, I guess, compensated. I do work for BNI now, if you will, but my payment is based on if I get to make someone smile, or if I hear I love a good aha moment will go a long way with me. So
Yes, which is the ultimate sign of service when you are taking care of someone and they're like, oh, thank you so much for bringing this to mind.
Yeah.
With you going from chapter to chapter, you're able to take those best practices around, and when you share them, that is a service. You know, it's bringing to light something that they didn't know that'll help them to progress. And when we stay on that topic of service, tell us, what is Mostly Mutts? What is that?
So Mostly Mutts is a dog, and cat shelter in downtown Kennesaw, and they have a foster program. They have there's a lot of outreach. They do like dog training. They've got programs for dogs that can't find homes, and they just do all kinds of things to make sure an animal, whether it be a cat or dog. We've actually had a goat that's come in as well.
Okay.
But to make sure that they're finding the right home. Obviously, these animals come from Paulding County, Cobb County, Bartow, and I don't want to know their stories, but it's an amazing organization run by volunteers primarily, which is why it's so important to volunteer.
Yes.
But that's also why I like it, because I'm not in charge.
Yes.
I don't have to lead. I can just be a worker bee and be part of that process. And
Yeah, I know over time, you've told me you've been part of charities before in your past, and there, you were telling me you had to make it happen. You were doing all types of things, coming up with programs, trying to get the money coming in, and you mentioned it now. You're a volunteer. What would you say is one of your favorite things about just actually having to do the work? What would you say that you like the
work
most
at the shelter?
Yes.
So on Monday mornings from 8 to 10, I have a walking shift, and that includes taking dogs on walks in the morning. Every morning they go on a walk. So rain or shine.
Yes.
This morning it was pretty wet.
Yes.
But we, I forgot the question.
It's what do you like to do now that you don't have to come up with the programs, but actually doing the work? What's one of your favorite things?
It's the being able to totally disconnect from anything else, from everything else in my world. I mean, maybe it's a selfless act. Seeing a dog have that aha moment as well is so magical.
Yes.
And I think one of my special gifts or traits is being able to get dogs to eat that don't like to eat. So I will sit down on the ground with them and hand feed, or make sure I'll mix up some whatever just to make sure that they're eating.
Yes.
So I think I equate that's my grandmother coming through. She never wanted anybody to be hungry. So but being able to, and I go on Monday mornings, but you can go anytime.
Yes, whenever, yes.
So if you're having one of those days where people are just, you've had enough of them, or you're sitting at home and you're, I don't know, bored. That doesn't happen often, but being able to do something productive with that free time is also a very rewarding thing to do.
Okay.
I mean, I can sit and play Candy Crush and all kinds of things for hours and hours, but I can also get up for a couple hours and take on another shift.
And volunteer your time.
And go around and take TikTok videos.
Oh, okay, nice.
So.
Now tell me, because we're talking about the different aspects of your Diamond Verse, and we've talked about BNI and how leadership has, become a part of that, helped you with it. Also with your volunteering with your charity of Mostly Mutts. And of course, we're going to get to Diamond Chick, which, I see how all of these aspects of things that you are doing have an ultimate result on your actual business. And what I want to talk about is a little bit about the leadership, as it relates to your business, because you've been going for over 3 years now, and how the service aspect comes into play as well, because you're helping, with people's insurance. So, tell us a little bit of how those two skills are working inside of your business.
I think the biggest thing I've gotten out of all of that leadership role is the confidence.
Okay.
Being self-employed, I don't have someone above me saying you're doing great, you're on the right track, or giving me those incentives or those challenges. So I was given that in a different place that allowed me to take that and take those wins and take the positive attitude I was getting from those successes and put that towards what I was doing with Diamond Chick. Okay. My tone completely changed. It was like it was just a totally different game, and it was I didn't even recognize it until I was talking to a friend of mine. She said, I haven't heard you use your office voice in a while, which I had a really bad office voice.
Okay.
Talking to people, if I didn't know you, then my
Yes.
voice was about 2 octaves higher. It was really, really bad. So I think that I have been able to hone some skills that I otherwise would not have had the opportunity to do.
Okay.
And that's made me a better agent. Also, I'm going to tie it back with the mutts as well. When you're in that shelter, you've got to be calm, cool, and collected. They can smell fear.
Yes.
They can smell, anxious. They can all that. So the implementing that positive attitude has just seeped into so many different things. So
Yes. Yes.
it makes all the difference in the world.
Well, good. Well, good. It's amazing how if we do one thing, it can have an effect on another. And this has been a 100% example of how you doing two separate things, really volunteering in the other two, and it helps with all aspects of your business.
Right.
And for those that didn't hear the first time about what it is that you actually do and who's a good referral for you.
Yep.
Why don't you share with us what services are you providing and who are you looking to get in contact with?
So essentially, I work with self-insured individuals, those that are shopping for health insurance for themselves because they're either self-employed or they don't have coverage at work through their employer. As a broker, I can help you get into the right plan. But I have noticed that there's a lot of information out there in the world, and there are a lot of insurance agents. I am a broker and I'm licensed, but there are a lot of so-called insurance agents that are giving a lot of false information. And I run into too many people who have realized that their coverage was not at all what they thought. Okay. And part of what I do is help people understand what they have, whether they like it or not. They're going to understand what they have so they can make an educated decision and at least know what they have. I mean, it's crazy when you spend all this money and you have no idea what's covered. Yes. So I bring that education piece in there, and I'm not selling, I'm helping people purchase.
Yes.
So that's what I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And thank you for creating a nice picture of what that target client looks like. But also, we are a bunch of business owners that are here listening to this forum. Who would you say is a good referral partner for you? Who would be someone in that sphere that you're looking to connect with?
So I'm really trying to connect with, other insurance brokers. I love learning there's a lot of stuff out there. So I enjoy talking to other people in the industry, but I've been, creating relationships with payroll, bookkeepers,
Okay.
CPAs, anyone really in the financial sphere, because money is part of, it's all kind of comes down to money, but
Yes.
those are professions that are asking those questions that can kind of be on the lookout for some of the things that I can help with.
Yeah, and help bring you some
They
additional.
can find a problem or find a pain.
Yeah, they can bring you some additional opportunities because they're working with that person that you're looking to be with.
Right. On the flip side, I can also be handing that money, that business right back, because I am working with these businesses that haven't quite gotten their feet off the ground, and they need those professional services.
Yes.
So it allows me to say, "Oh, you may need to have this conversation."
Okay.
So,
yeah, thanks for sharing those things. Share with the audience how they can get in contact with you.
So the best way to get in contact with me is to visit my website at www.diamondchickconsulting.com. You can also follow me on Facebook at Diamond Chick Consulting and Instagram at Diamond Chick Insurance.
Oh, nice.
I think I'm somewhere else too, but we'll keep it at that.
Yeah, just find her.
Go to the website. Everything is pretty much there. My calendar's there, and that's really the best way to schedule an appointment. I am a one-man show.
Okay.
Go to my calendar, make an appointment.
Awesome. And we appreciate you sharing your journey about how things have continued to come along. I mean, hey, 3 years, you're going forward.
I can't believe it.
That's
I
what
remember
I'm talking
coming in
about.
here and
Yes.
saying, I just started my company.
Yes. Now
So thank you so much for having me back.
Of course. And one thing that we always like to do is give our guests the last word. So if you can, share with us what you have.
All right. So note to self, all you have to do is show up. Be late, be scared, be a mess, be weird, be confused. Just be there. You'll figure out the rest as you go.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time today,
Thank you,
Stephanie. And if you guys have any of those needs that she shared today, please reach out to her. She'll be a wonderful resource for you. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Roger.
Thanks.